Predators our ancestors faced 4 million years ago. What if you opened your eyes and the world you knew was gone? No phone in your hand, no walls to protect you, no locks, no alarms, no lights. Just cold earth beneath your feet, endless sky above, and an eerie silence broken only by the sounds of wind and something moving in the grass. It's 4 million years ago. You are barefoot, unarmed, naked except for the mind racing in your skull. No fire, no tools, no civilization, just survival. Raw, brutal animal survival. And now imagine something is watching you. From the shadows, from the trees, from the tall savannah grass. Something faster than you, something stronger, something that doesn't hesitate. Could you survive? Because for our earliest ancestors, those fragile two-legged creatures that stood somewhere between ape and man, this wasn't a nightmare. This was life. Every sunrise brought a new chance to die. Every step outside meant gambling your life. And the predators, they didn't just eat. They evolved alongside us, sharpening their instincts on the soft flesh of our kind. This is not just history. It's not fiction. This is the truth of how we began. Today we travel back to the Pliocene epoch, to a time when being human meant one thing: being prey. The unseen threat. You see, we tend to think that humans conquered the world with spears, cities, and fire. But we forget what came before, the million-year struggle for survival, when we were just another animal on the food chain. 4 million years ago, the Earth was a different planet. The Earth was not yet a cradle of kings. It was a hunting ground. And we weren't the hunters. We were fragile, soft-skinned, slow, vulnerable. The greatest threat didn't come from hunger, or drought, or even rival tribes. It came with fangs, with claws, with silence. You wouldn't see them until it was too late. You'd be cracking a root with your teeth, and suddenly the scream of a sibling, a blur of muscle, blood on the dirt. Predators didn't just terrify us, they defined us. They forced us to adapt, to think, to run, to scream, to climb, to protect. The fear shaped our minds. The danger sculpted our bodies. The monsters of the Pliocene were not just threats, they were the reason we changed. Giants of the Pliocene. The Pliocene epoch, roughly 5.3 to 2.6 million years ago, was a time of giants, both literal and evolutionary. It was the moment when our ancestors first began to rise, and when nature sent its most terrifying teachers to meet them. Smilodon gracilis. You probably heard of the saber-toothed tiger, but the one stalking the plains 4 million years ago was Smilodon gracilis, an earlier, smaller, but no less deadly version of its Ice Age descendant. It didn't roar, it waited, hidden in tall grass, watching, calculating, with elongated canine teeth that could tear open the neck of a prey in a single precise strike. It wasn't about brute strength. It was about deadly patience. You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't even feel the pain until your body was already giving out. For early hominins, a walk too far from the group meant a silent end, marked only by disturbed grass and a red stain on the soil. Canis dirus, the dire wolf. Don't think of a dog. Don't even think of a wolf. Think of something twice the size of today's largest wolves, with bone-crushing jaws, and packs that hunted like military units. They didn't just chase you, they wore you down, circled you, waited until your muscles screamed with exhaustion. You might outrun one, but never the whole pack. And worst of all, they were bold. They didn't fear fire, because fire didn't exist yet. They didn't fear noise, because silence was their ally. And they didn't fear you, because to them, you were meat. Arctodus simus, the short-faced bear. This was no ordinary bear, standing up to 12 feet tall on its hind legs and weighing more than 1,000 pounds. It was fast, faster than any human, and frighteningly intelligent. It could smell you from miles away. It could run you down over open terrain. It didn't care if you climbed a tree. It would wait. It didn't just eat plants or meat, it ate opportunity. And when early humans moved into its territory, it didn't see a rival, it saw lunch. Dinofelis, the terrible cat. This lesser-known feline deserves fear. About the size of a jaguar, but with an even more powerful bite. Dinofelis preferred wooded environments. That meant it didn't hunt in open plains. It hunted where you thought you were safe. Among the shadows, among the trees. It may have specialized in preying on primates. Yes, specifically on our kind. Imagine that, a predator whose evolutionary niche was hunting early humans. You're not just part of the food chain, you're the item on the menu. Megantherion, the agile saber-tooth. Slightly smaller than Smilodon, but arguably even more refined as a predator. Megantherion had longer forelimbs for grappling and a powerful neck to drive its saber-like teeth downward. It wasn't built to chase, it was built to pounce, clamp down, and finish. If one of these was stalking you, you wouldn't hear footsteps. You'd feel your ribs crack as it dragged you down. These weren't just animals, these were nightmares wrapped in fur and fang, and they didn't just kill, they competed for food, for space, for dominance. We weren't on top of the chain, we were barely on it. Daily life on a razor's edge. Now imagine waking up, not in a bed, but on the hard earth. Your shelter, a cluster of low trees. Your blanket, your own skin. The sun rises, and your stomach growls. You need food, water, safety. But in the Pliocene, nothing came free. Every task carried a cost. Every moment of gathering was an invitation to danger. You're picking fruit when a branch cracks, a shadow shifts, your breath freezes. It might be nothing, or it might be the last thing you ever hear. Daily life wasn't a routine, it was a razor's edge. One misstep could mean death. Go too far, you disappear. Climb the wrong tree, something might already be in it. Stay too long in the open, you become the easiest meal on the plain. So we grouped together, not out of love or friendship, but because more eyes meant better odds. Every member of the group had a role. Lookout, gatherer, protector. They developed early warning cries, screeches, grunts, hand signals, simple gestures with life or death meaning. In a world without weapons or fire, cooperation was the only tool that could save them. And yet, somehow, they endured. Adaptations and evasion. Why didn't we vanish? Why weren't we wiped out by tooth and claw like so many others? Because we evolved something even more powerful than muscle or fang. Our minds. Our brains began to grow, fueled by fear and forged by necessity. We didn't need claws. We made them, sharpening stones, picking up sticks, hurling rocks. We didn't need speed. We found ways to see further, plan ahead, work together. Bipedalism, walking upright, seems simple, but it gave us height, perspective, the ability to scan the horizon and detect movement before it got close enough to kill. We learned to hide, in trees, in caves, in groups, and we learned to outthink. Predators were driven by instinct, we were learning to reason. The evolution of language began not with poetry but with warning sounds, gestures, shared fear. A glance that meant don't move, a grunt that meant run. These were the seeds of human intelligence, and that intelligence began to turn the tide. Legacy and our evolution. Even now, after millions of years, when we walk alone at night and hear a sudden sound behind us, our hearts race, our breath shortens, our muscles tighten, ready to run. And yet we tell ourselves it's nothing, just the wind, just imagination. But deep down, in the most ancient corners of our mind, something older whispers, be careful. Something might be watching. This isn't irrational fear. This is inheritance. This is memory, carved not into stone or bone, but etched into the wiring of our nervous systems. We don't just remember the predators. In a way, we are the result of them. You see, those monstrous creatures of the Pliocene didn't just vanish into the fossil record. Their legacy lives on in the way we move, the way we bond, the way we fear, and the way we think. They were the ultimate test, and their pressure forced our kind to evolve, to change, to rise. The predators shaped us, yes, but not just through terror. Even our social nature, our need to live in groups, to communicate, to share stories by the fire, that didn't come from leisure. It came from necessity, from watching others fall, from learning together, from grieving together. And that, perhaps, is the most human thing of all, that we didn't just survive with teeth or claws, we survived with each other. That legacy lives on in every anxious glance we cast into the night, in every instinct to protect a child, in every myth and monster story told through generations. Let us know in the comments and answer this. If you woke up 4 million years ago, would you survive?